Welcome to another episode of Dr. Brooke on the Block. It's time to grab a seat, buckle up, and take a ride with me through the wild, wild west of the Web3 universe, where we're going to learn all about coins and tokens, NFTs and contracts, digital real estate and the metaverse, and so much more. There is a lot to get through on the block, but I am here to pave the way and help you avoid those nasty pitfalls and rug pulls so you don't get hurt. I'm going to also introduce you to some interesting characters along the way. Are you ready? Your ride starts now. Hey, Dr. Brooke here with yet another incredible epic ride through the wild, wild west of Web3. I am joined by a friend, Andrew Sayles, who is been on the podcast, who's taken a co-pilot ride with me previous weeks ago. Make sure you check out that episode. I will be sure to link it in the show notes. So Andrew's not going to get the traditional introduction like he would have on that first episode. I just want to tell you, Andrew runs an epic crypto and coffee event every single morning on Twitter Space, and it's for new people, it's for experts, it's for everybody in between. It is awesome, lots of information there, and Andrew's just an overall great person. We're going to get to talk about a lot of different crypto news that's happening in the world, as well as projects that he's working on and things that are launching and coming out. So Andrew, with all of that said, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for co-piloting with me again today. So happy you're here.
Oh, thank you for the awesome intro. You made me feel really good about myself. And yeah,
you are a cool person. Come on.
Thank you. It's fun to do the show and do stuff like this and truly educate people and just make sure people learn from, it's funny you say you want to help people avoid the rugs and everything on the blockchain, and we've all been involved in them. So yeah, it is a way of paying it forward and, making sure we can draw a map for those that, want to follow it and stuff. So, and there's a lot going on like this week in particular in crypto. So it was awesome timing for this.
Yeah, totally. So before we get into all of that, what's been happening, you mentioned something, pay it forward and pave the way. It's kind of like right now, what's happening in the crypto space is we are literally creating our own frontier. So there is no path, there is no map. We're like, macheting, like weed whacking all kinds of weeds to make our own trail, and we're, bringing people with us. So that's the cool part. You're doing it in with Twitter Spaces and bringing new people in. You're doing it with your projects. But the crypto space right now, okay, we are recording. I'm putting this on the actual recording, but you and I are recording on November 10th. There was a shit show. I will say shit on this show. There was a shit show that happened the last 2 days. Unbelievable, November 8th. So I want you to talk about that, and then we're going to just kind of have a discussion.
Man, like this could be like a 3-hour convo by itself. Honestly, our podcast, our spaces went 4 hours when we talked about this.
No way.
It's a lot to unpack, but yeah. I guess at the 10,000 foot view, it was a whale war between a couple billionaires, right? Yeah. You have CZ Binance, and he is the owner of Binance and big holder of BNB token, the Binance native token and their blockchain. And then you had Sam Beekman-Freud, or whatever his name is, but Sam SBF, what we call him, the owner of FTX exchange, and kind of what it sounds like what went down behind the scenes is that Sam was funneling a lot of money towards politicians that were anti-DeFi, and CZ approached him about it, and the conversation didn't go well, or he didn't want to he didn't want to cede to CZ, and then kind of CZ, he got word that FTX was over leveraged and that they were trading their users' accounts, and he kind of low-key dropped that he thought this was the case, and his company Binance holds a bunch of the native token FTT that is the native token of FTX, this exchange. So he announced that for this reason he was going to be selling it off. So he caused a major sell-off, and he did a major sell-off, which caused the price to tank. And then all of this led to a run on the bank to where everybody was trying to go get their assets. And in reality, their assets weren't there. There's about 9 billion that need to be, quote unquote, recovered right now. And so the reason the assets weren't there is FTX has a sister company, Alameda, which is also ran by SBF. And they had an asset management contractor where they loaned the money out to them, they traded for them, this and that. And a lot of the money they had leveraged out on loan was based on the value of the native token FTT. So to kind of wrap this all up, SBF and CZ Binance are beefing. CZ Binance owns a bunch of tokens that support SBC. I'm sorry, FBS. So many abbreviations here. FBS whole trading operation. And he says, all right, you want to try to flex on me? I'm the bigger billionaire. I'm going to sell off, tank your token. I'm going to put all your trades at risk, and you're not going to be able to support people rushing to the bank. And it's what happened. So SBF bent the knee. If you ever watch Game of Thrones, he bent the knee to him. And they were supposed to enter a deal for Binance to buy FTX, but I think it was just kind of a chance to bait retail liquidity, so like your average buyer, and to run the price up so they could dump more. But that's the overview. It's pretty crazy. And then there's other implications that like ripple all the way to the Solana chain. It's nuts right now.
It's absolutely nuts. And you summed it up really well. I'm going to try to see if I can put it in some layman's terms for people who might be entering the show and go, what is so, when Andrew just spoke about 2 billionaires who run 2 different exchanges, you can look at this like maybe like in a traditional stock setting, like Robinhood and Charles Schwab going at it, or TD Ameritrade and Charles Schwab going at it. So it's just 2 huge companies that are in charge of a lot of crypto assets. And it's where you, as the retail investor, can go and purchase cryptocurrencies. You can purchase cryptocurrencies off FTX, which I would advise not to do. Although this is not financial advice, none of this is. I would also advise maybe to, not purchase or do anything on Binance. Maybe you do. Maybe you buy on them and then you take your coins off of there. I've done a lot of episodes and shows that say, not your keys, not your coin. You can store them in cold wallets. We won't go into that right now. But essentially, these 2 big players, these 2 big dogs, they got into a dogfight, and the entire market literally went up in flames. But that's not. This is an exciting time. I know it's crazy for the masses happening, but this is a very exciting time because this is the Black Friday sale before Black Friday. Like, this is truly like we're sitting here at some really deep discounts on a lot of assets that have a lot of potential and opportunity to go up. So I'm actually very excited about it. I am personally, again, this is my own personal decision. I'm not telling anybody to do that, but I'm getting a lot of Solana based off of these drops in these prices. So very, very
touch on that real quick, why that might not be a good idea.
Yes, go for it. Go for it.
And so full disclosure, I made a shit ton of money shorting Solana. So I shorted Solana at like $24 and I closed out up 100%, or 130% in 24 hours. And I closed out I opened another short today and I closed out up another 40%.
Nice.
But so this beef between the billionaires has massive impact on the Solana ecosystem. And I build a project on Solana.
Right.
And like obviously I shorted Solana yesterday. I'm not a maxi of any chain or coin by any means. I'm a money maxi, right? If it makes sense, I'm going to do it. And there's a lot of tools in Web3 to make money with, and we could do a whole other episode on that. Yeah. But, just make me a regular on here.
I know exactly. You might be a co-host, boy. You might be a co-host.
Let's do it. But we so like I was saying, the exchange FTX, what they were doing is they were trading their holders' assets. And now what they're having to do is, since there's a $9 billion gap, they're having to sell off what assets they do have to pay off their users.
Yes.
Well, FTX holds 10% of Solana, and a large portion of that just became unlocked yesterday. So about, I want to say $36 million worth is, or no, about $500 million worth.
Yeah. I heard 330 million. So the number's definitely fluctuating, but it's definitely in the hundreds of millions of dollars, not the 36 million. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking to I'm playing the trading game with Solana, short and moving and out, scraping profits where I can, but I'm honestly looking for like $5 Solana, $5 to $8 Solana to come into the game right now. So yeah, and you know, I don't even know if they even recover. I think it will recover, to be honest, thinking things through. I think this is actually good for Solana long term. I said a long time, people thought, oh, we're in the bear market. And like, yeah, it was going down, but like this hasn't felt like a bear market because the Solana NFT markets until about 14 days ago were outperforming every market across the globe. So like it wasn't a bear market. But this is the type of pain that needed to happen for people to just capitulate, you know, and be like, wow, I'm done with this. I lost so much money. And I think we could see Solana move sideways for $5 for a year. But I do believe still, and I have plenty of reason to say why I believe this, but you know, long story short, Solana has the best tech of any coin out. But I do believe that Solana will start the next bull run because they had the first what's called dead cat bounce, to where like when you hit a bottom and then bounce back up in April, it went up to 140 like overnight, and it was like a 60% gain, and it was, you know, after it already touched 250 and came down to like $80, something like that, and went back up. So it's moved ahead of the whole ecosystem, and I think in about 12 to 18 months, Solana actually starts the next bull run. But I do think that we hear Solana is dead, and the rest of the market proclaims Solana is dead, and the other market might move and have a few relief rallies, but then it'll sink. It'll be a sinking ship here until like February or, you know, around that time. But yeah, I would personally, not financial advice again, but personally, I've talked about shorting Solana and not accumulating anything till $5, and that's where I'll feel comfortable.
Wow. All right. Well, we're definitely, I want to talk offline about that $5 because I've heard someone say that when I got into the crypto market early 2021, Solana was trading at like $3. And I was the dummy who didn't get into Solana because I didn't know. Like I didn't know what I didn't know at that time. And I just watched it go like almost all the way, I think, to like $250 per token. And it's all the way back down. I think right now at the time of recording, last I checked, it's like between $16 and $17 range.
Yeah.
So Andrew's saying that it could even lose quite a bit more, even about $10 on that current price right now, drop down below, which I do agree with you. I do believe that Solana is a great ecosystem and it does have a lot of potential. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, they just got a big deal with Solana that they will be utilizing the Solana chain for a lot of their Web3 offerings.
Yeah, and Google too, Google Cloud. Okay. And so like that's what makes me think Solana will survive. I just think that it's going to be a totally you're going to look up and it's going to be a whole new breed of faces there, to where the big influencers who on Solana now aren't going to be there in 2 years, just because like it's been too easy. But you know, I'm dedicated to building there. I show up every single day, and I know there's other projects that do too, and just flat out, you know, my projects we will go cross chain, and we've always planned on going cross chain, but the best technology is Solana, and like there's things you can do, especially as a gaming project, that you can't do on other chains. So like I believe it will be a winner, but I'm still not in accumulation phase. But you know, if you bought yesterday at $11, you feel great right now too, regardless.
Yeah, so. You do. You won't feel great if it goes to $5, like Andrew said. But hey, you might want to pick some up at that $5 level if you really truly, because I'm all about, and you know this from my show, my perspective is, if you're buying and purchasing something you have conviction in, then you've made the right move. Like it's not about, you know, just getting a piece or a token of something because somebody told you to do something, although that's how many of us have entered this space. But it becomes more about having the conviction and the courage to continue if you did buy at 11 and it goes down to 5, knowing and understanding, hey, I should pick up more of this because I have conviction around this project. And so there's a lot to be said about that, regardless, to end this whole discussion on what is happening in the crypto markets, regardless of what happens to cryptocurrency, blockchain technology will continue to exist. Blockchain technology will still be a part of our lives and our world. Cryptocurrency is what runs the blockchain. That is what is necessary to run the blockchain. So that is how transactions are moved around through that. So that's why it's called Dr. Brooke on the blockchain and not Dr. Brooke does crypto. But on that note, Andrew, you talked about Solana, and you do all of your projects on Solana. Tell us about this project.
Man, so we're Coffee and Crypto. We have a morning show that we do every day at 9:06 a.m. Central. My Twitter handle's tagged here, Close Some Sales. Yeah. And that's kind of what we stem from, right? We have a community that touches every aspect of Web3, from liquidity farming, the NFTs, to gaming NFTs, to music NFTs, the tokens. And what we've done is we created a collection called Coffee and Crypto, where it's a bunch of mugs, and you're able to stake these mugs and earn Java token. And the way we issue our Java token is we have a vault, like I said, full of NFTs that our community is interested in. So we issue tokens based on the value of that vault and by a portion of our revenue. We're a registered business. That way we could buy back these tokens at any point in time that we wanted. But the cool thing we have going on, and why we're doing the real use case with these tokens, is I have IRL, real life businesses that will accept our Java token. That's our native token. We have a meat distributor that'll ship anywhere in the US. You can get like $500 worth of meat for like $200. We have a vape shop that'll ship anywhere in the US, and we have virtual coaches that will accept Java and give you a discount for accepting it. But and that's instant utility. But what I think is the coolest thing we have going is we're building the Web3 version of Monopoly. So in about 2 months from now, we're this is 11/10/22. You'll be able to roll dice, move around the board. When you land on a property you don't own, I mean, it's Monopoly. You're going to pay rent and Java token.
Yeah.
When you pass go, you're going to earn Java token. You'll also be able to earn Java by staking and owning property in the NFTs. But right now, you can earn your Java by grabbing our Coffee and Crypto mugs, get them in staking, start earning your Java. Because here's the we call it alpha in the crypto world, but here's the insider info on it. Is when the game comes out, players are going to have to hold 50 Java to play the game, and properties are going to be purchased in Java. So they're going to have to get the Java from somebody. The only way Java comes into existence is by staking these coffee mugs, storing them on the blockchain and generating 1.2 Java per day right now. So you guys can do the math, Java is going to be in demand. I'm intentionally creating a supply squeeze for it, but that's the basic overview, and I can give you, details on the game.
Oh my gosh. Well, first off, that's really cool. So you talked about that token squeeze. The one thing we did talk about last episode that you were on and you co-piloted with me is tokenomics. And tokenomics are super important, because if you end up in a situation where you're upside down, where you have so much supply and nobody cares about it, that's when these tokens essentially go to zero. That's how this happens. Yeah. And so by creating a system where it doesn't get blown out of control, to where there's so much Java tokens spinning around that it's like, oh, who cares about this? You're essentially controlling the aspect of how things are happening and making sure people are doing the proper steps and procedures necessary, right? To continue to engage and play and do their thing.
Yeah, for sure. So at a big view level, if you think about how we start with Java, how the US dollar used to be. It used to be backed by gold. There was X amount of gold.
Andrew, I have to fix you or correct that really quick. You mean the Federal Reserve note, right? The US.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, fiat's what we call it.
Yeah, but, fiat. Yeah.
It used to be backed by gold before it was fiat. And for whatever reason, that's a whole other conversation, I guess, too. But it's not it's not backed anymore. But it held its value to where now we have an insane inflation rate. I saw something right now, groceries are 12% more expensive than they were a year ago. And like everybody feels that. So, and it's because more and more money is coming into existence without being backed by anything. So we start with our Java token by having a vault full of NFTs, cryptos, and all this good stuff that we grow based on community decisions. And with every Java we issue is backed by that vault. So if we ever needed to, because sell pressure was too hard, we could sell off from our vault, buy back Java, burn it, take it out of existence, and in theory bring the price up. And you know that's the start of it. Now it's that's Java as like, you know, a currency or a token that's not fiat. But then the next level of our Monopoly game is honestly like a micro example of how universal basic income can work just by participating in a society. And like that's what I think will be the really cool thing we'll prove here.
Very cool. Okay, so you mentioned people. Okay, when the game launches in 2 months, and I am going to release this episode next Thursday, so you guys are going to get this 1 week late just because of the discussion we had in the beginning. We want it to be relevant, not 60 days later. Anyway, with that being said, so you mentioned the game is coming out in 2 months. You must have 50 Java token to engage and play Monopoly to start out with. How, okay, if I'm coming brand new to this, and I know you and I have had many conversations on the back end, and I still have yet to do it. Maybe we need to do a whole episode where you walk me through step by step, where everybody else can be walked through. But so it's purchasing first the NFT. So purchasing the Coffee and Crypto NFT off Magic Eden. And then at that point, I stake it in your guys' vault. And then I start earning the 1.2.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Now, people that when the game goes live, you won't have to hold an NFT to play the game, just the Java. So
got it.
But the only way Java comes into existence is by staking the NFT. So if you have a bunch of Java, people playing the game are probably going to come, you know, get the Java from you, because if you hold 50 Java tokens, you can play the game. You can roll the dice and move around the board.
So how do people? So I guess maybe that's where I'm having a disconnect. Is how do people get Java from me? So, like if I have the NFT and I'm just holding it in my Phantom, I can hold it in my Phantom wallet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm holding it in my Phantom wallet and I don't decide to stake it, I'm not earning Java. So then the game launches and I'm like, shoot, I need Java. So then I decide to stake it. Well, you're saying people are going to get Java from me. Well, what if I only have 2? How do they know that I have Javas where I'm
yeah. At? So that's where the whole decentralization thing kind of comes into play. So like on Solana, there's a token swap market called Famous Fox Federation, where like, let's say I had 100 Java and I wanted to go list it for, you know, $1 a Java token. Yeah. People could come and they could just buy it, you know, through that smart contract. Now, as a project owner and a project, we don't want to provide liquidity because we're unclear of US regulations on it. So I actually built it into the game mechanics to heavily incentivize our players to provide liquidity. So providing liquidity is kind of, I guess, another whole other conversation we could have.
Yeah. I know. I understand this concept. They may not understand it, but essentially when you provide liquidity or you are a liquidity provider, you can then determine if you want a percentage of that you're providing. You know, so saying, like, okay, I'm going to take 8% of this, or I'm going to take, you know.
So what will happen is, you know, some of our whales, for example, they'll have more than enough to play with, and they will take their Java token and, you know, they'll put up, you know, 10 Java tokens and $10 of US dollar coin, and other people will be able to come trade in and out of their assets. And the fees that would normally go to an exchange will be divided amongst the people that have their liquidity, you know, in play there. So you'll be able to get that. You'll be able to go to liquidity pools on decentralized exchanges like Radium on Solana, and leading up to it, it'll be available on Famous Fox. But liquidity probably won't happen until a week or 2 before the game goes live. But it is built into our mechanics of our game that people are going to want to provide liquidity, because you know, I for me, I made a lot of money last year in play to earn games, but like the big thing was they either weren't fun, they weren't sustainable, or there was never enough liquidity. So I made sure that all we tried to check. We did check. I believe we checked all boxes with this. I believe Monopoly's fun. If you don't think it's fun, you should probably just turn the episode off now. But
no, not true. Monopoly is fun. It can take hours to play, which is what is great about creating like a digital version or Web3 is you don't have to sit there and play it for 5 hours straight. You literally can make a play or make a couple plays and then go about your day. What would you say? So I want you to talk about like the game. So we briefly touched on it. If you want to go more detail into the game as a whole.
Yeah. So you touched on something important there that Monopoly is normally like a 5-hour game and you got to sit down and this and that. Yes. Well, with us, is how we structured it is everybody's playing on the same board at the same time, and it's really a never-ending game. So the way it works is if you play Monopoly, you probably want to have properties. Now you can play the game and just go around the board and earn money by pass and go and stuff like that. But if you own properties, there's 2 ways you can earn Java tokens off the properties. The first way is just by owning the property and having it staked, you'll generate tokens every single day. Now, if you don't roll once every 24 hours, the tokens that you generated are going to be burned, taken out of existence. So that's how we keep our in-game economy flowing. You have to roll once every 24 hours. Now you can roll up to once every 4 hours if you want. The more you roll, the more you should make it around the board, the more you should make in theory, but then you're also going to land on more properties. But if you own a property and you land on it, you don't have to pay into it. Right. Now the second way you earn off your properties is by other people playing the game. If I'm playing the game and I land on a property you owe, well, you and every other player who owns that property and has it staked and has rolled in the past 24 hours is going to split what goes in that payment on it.
We're going to split your rent payment.
Yeah. Okay. You're going to take it. So the big things though is I built a lot of burn mechanics on it, to take Java out of existence. So to start with, when people buy properties, they can only buy it in Java token. 95% of those tokens are going to be burned, taken out of existence. So again, to circle back to the supply squeeze, think about when the game comes out, people are going to have to 50 Java to play. They're going to have to spend Java on properties. There's only so much Java in existence. And then 95% of what they spend on properties is going to be burned. So we should have a big supply squeeze come game time. Now, when people are playing the game and they land on a property, 10% that's paid into that property payment, the rent is burned, taken out of existence. So that's another burn. Do you remember the free parking space on Monopoly?
Yes.
So like when I grew up, we'd always put like $500 there, and if you landed on it, you took the $500. What we do is a portion of all the rent and then our utilities, we call them gas stations. Nobody owns them. Everybody has gas fees. So a portion of the gas fees goes to the free parking. Whatever player lands on that, they get it, and everybody's playing real time at the same time. So first person lands on it, get in. It's constantly building.
Dang. It's like one of those, like what I picture in my head is, when you're playing like those video games, like at like Dave and Buster's or like those arcade places. And then you see like, okay, like the jackpot's getting to 50, the jackpot's 100 and we're trying to get that.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. So we always keep 250 Java tokens in there. It'll always replenish to 250. And then a portion of everything just goes there as people play the game. So it's always running. And, you have to factor that into your game theory, right? Like, is the pot big? So I want to roll a little bit more and try to take a shot at hitting it.
Right. I think, I don't know if it was here or is it nationwide, the lottery? Like we California, there was a lot of stuff about this $1 billion lottery.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like the same thing, right? It's like, oh my God, it's up to $1 billion. So then all these people who don't gamble are like, let me get $10 in there. Let me. I like that. That's a great theory, Andrew, because that like works out like super well. Because they're like, oh shoot, the pot's getting bigger.
Yeah. And so that's the big part. You remember Go to Jail, right? Don't pass go.
Okay,
go to jail.
That is literally, I was like, okay, we're gonna have to address the elephant in the room. Like, what happens when you end up on there? That's fun.
So our go to jail is get rugged, because that's what happens to you in crypto NFTs.
Ouch.
Yeah. And then instead of I don't know if you remember DSB off the morning show.
Yes,
but,
of course.
Yeah. So, DSB always is coming out angry and attacking projects, because that's what he does. So, like, our joke on the show is that we keep him locked in the basement and he can't come out for the first half of the episode because he'll just get out of control. But instead of going to jail, you get sent to DSB's basement. And it's the same thing to where you got to pay 50 Java to get out, which goes to the jackpot, or you got to roll doubles or sit there for 3 rolls. And you're in DSB's basement, and the square on the space in the board is like a basement with like a Bitcoin on like a cord. You see some laser eyes at the bottom in the dark and stuff.
I love it. That's so cool. That's so cool. That's so awesome. Okay, cool. So
one more thing though. When you get sent, when you get rugged and sent to DSB's basement, you actually burn the jackpot. And so that way everybody knows you burn the jackpot, everybody gets to be mad at you, and that's kind of the interaction in the game. So like there's a lot
what? When you're in the basement, you're burning. So if there's 1,000 Java tokens in the free parking spot, like that's completely gone. You have to burn those 1,000.
Yep, they're gone.
Ouch, 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 ouch. Nobody go to jail. Nobody go to DSB's basement. Please, please, please. Jeez. That's crazy. Awesome. So there's a lot going on with that game. There's a lot of stuff happening. The one thing that some of my listeners, some of my audience members may not know is, so Andrew's talking about this project, his Monopoly game, where they're utilizing their native token, which is Java, built on the Solana blockchain. And that is actually going to also have NFTs a part of it, because the only way to engage with the entire Monopoly game, well, not the only way, because they can just have the Java tokens and play the game. Yeah. But when you actually own properties, say you own Park Place, which is a big one that everybody would try to be getting, is you would purchase that as an NFT. Correct. My question to you, Andrew, is a lot of these big NFT projects that are, what they consider blue chips in the space, they do the mint, right? They'll do like a live mint of, okay, you can buy our NFTs. And then they do what is called like a reveal type party. So you have no idea what you purchased if you're purchasing it for the first time until they do the reveal. Are you guys going to do that? Or is it going to be just here's all of the properties and you can select like you would on a secondary market?
So that's a good question. And we had to tackle that with the game theory here. We spent months really dialing in the tokenomics, and the beauty of Monopoly, all the math is out there. So it's easier than it sounds to reverse engineer it. But so everybody's playing on the same board at the same time. So we couldn't structure property purchases to where how you do it in the real game. If you land on a property, you buy it. So we have people buy properties in packs of cards. Okay. And you purchase card packs like you would, pack the same way we would like Pokemon cards, Magic cards, baseball cards, football cards, or whatever. Yeah. But you're able to purchase these cards with Java token, and based on the level of the pack, the higher quality property you're going to be guaranteed. So for example, for 25 Java, you get a chance at one random property. But for 120 Java, you can buy a silver pack, which is 3 properties, 1 silver level property. So think, the orange and red type properties, right? And then 2 random properties. They could be shitty, they could be good. Who knows? They're probably gonna be shitty, but they could be good. And then we have our we have a gold, which is the same thing. 2 properties and that are 1 property that's gold level. So think like the orange and the green, and then 2 random properties are shitty. And then we have our degen pack, which is like 5,000 LAD. And it's 5 cards, 1 legendary level property. So think, good green properties, 4 random properties, higher chance of them not being shitty than being shitty, but they still could be shitty.
Yeah.
And that there's that. Then we have our lucky lad, which is like, I want to say like 7,000 or something like that. And there's like 7 cars, and you have the highest chances of the best properties. But the Satoshi level properties are the interesting ones. So do you remember, like when you play Monopoly, you probably always wanted to get like all 3 of the same color and then put houses and hotels, because then you could really wreck people.
Yeah.
So
you really wreck people like that for sure. That's how you win. That's how you make the game go from 5 hours to 3.
Exactly. I was just playing with my kid last week, and he thought he was winning, but like I had hotels on Boardwalk and Park Place, and he got wrecked.
My God, you killed him.
Yeah. So I mentioned earlier, the Satoshi level, the big problem in play to earn gaming is you run into liquidity issues. So the only way to get Satoshi level properties is providing liquidity with Java token. So when you provide liquidity, you'll earn the fees like normal, but then you'll also earn rewards points, and you can cash those reward points in for properties. So to get the key piece in the monopoly, you're going to have to provide liquidity. And the big benefit to getting the monopoly is, again, we can't build houses and hotels because everybody's playing on the same board at the same time, but it increases your output by 3x. So if you had 2 properties that were generating, I have 2 red properties, each individual property was generating 10 Java, so I was generating 2 or 20 between the 2. Well, if I get that 3rd key piece to monopoly, each one is going to generate 30. So now I'm generating 90 Java a day by having the monopoly there. So that's how we solve a lot of liquidity issues and incentivize players to want to provide liquidity.
Right. I love that there's been a lot of like strategy and thought and all of it going into it. And it's clear for those of you listening that this is a project that isn't a rug project. A rug project, or like a, project that's shady, that has no no backing, nothing to hold it. It's like what is the 3 little pigs and the one house can blow down because it's like sticks. It's like, that's not what Andrew's doing. That's why this project, I don't know. I've known you for maybe 4 or 5 months now. Like, not very long, but it's long in the world of Web3. Like, it feels like I've known you forever. And I've seen, like, you didn't even have the coffee and crypto NFTs rolled out, even when we did the first episode. That was something that you were talking about rolling out. So I've seen you really be methodical and making sure that you do the right approach to everything. So it's not just a win-win to the creators, that you guys are creating money bags and moon bags to go run and get your Lamborghinis, but really to be something sustainable in the space that is creating value for the players, creating value for the creators, creating value for the holders, and the businesses that you talked about that are utilizing Java, because those are bringing people into their companies and into their businesses in real life that may have not shown up had they not had the Java token or even known that they existed, right? When you talk about Meat Company earlier, I'm like, oh my God, that's really cool. So I just have to applaud your efforts in what you're doing there. That's really what I wanted to say with all of that. As we start to like wrap up the episode and the ride for today, I'm going to give a summary of what I think is the next step process, because like I said, this is going to be released 1 week after we get off this call. For people who are interested, maybe they're like listening to this episode and they're like, man, I really want to get involved in that project. And personally, I want to get involved too. I have not taken these steps. So these are the steps in my mind that I think that I need to take. So first step is to get a coffee and crypto NFT.
Yeah, you're going to want some mugs. They're on discount with Solana on sale right now too. So I would get a couple of them. Not financial advice, but I do. I'm in a gym. So.
Okay. So a couple or a coffee and crypto NFT, you get that. And I'll link some of the steps in the show notes to do, like how to do it. Because I'm going to go through this. I'm actually going to go through these steps to make this happen. But you want to get a coffee and crypto NFT before the game launches. So you get the NFT, you stake it, which you've given me the site to where I need to stake it. I'll also put that in the show notes. And then I just wait. Like, it's sitting there staked. It is. I just wait. Monopoly game comes out. Now I have the actual asset, like not for the game, but like I have an asset that's generating me Java tokens to allow me to play Monopoly. Am I correct with my theory?
Well, you're 100% correct so far. Yeah, 100%
okay, perfect.
correct.
So then now I have the Coffee and Crypto NFT that's earning me Java tokens that is allowing me to get to the point at which I can play the Monopoly, because by this time, if you do it now or within the next, few days of listening to this, you should be able to generate at least those 50 Java by the time the Monopoly comes out. So you're sitting at an advantage point better than somebody who's coming in on the project first or like right when it launches. It's like, hey, you've already been in. And you got kind of first movers advantage in that sense.
Yeah, and you're spot on. And to be honest, since the game will be closer and I'll be expecting people to be playing it, the month before the game, the Java output will go up because I'll expect massive syncs to come in. So like right now, it's about control and not flooding the market and just making sure there's enough available. If people want to do something with it, cool, some Java, or want to buy some vape stuff or meat, whatever. But pretty much everybody they're hyped about the game and they're just hoarding it. So I think I know for a fact a lot of the whales are planning on listing Java at $1. So I'm expecting us to open it at $1 a Java token.
Nice.
So if you base it off that theory, right? Granted, this is all whale talk. I'm not providing liquidity personally.
Yep.
But if you base it on that theory, you're earning about 1.2. You're earning 1.2 Java per day. It's $1.20 per day. Our floor price right now is 3 Solana. So it's at a discount Solana, that's $45 for an NFT. You're looking at about 30 days, 32, 33 days to have ROI on investment, assuming that our whales hold true and list for $1 like they're planning on. Right. So it's pretty insane ROI. And then if you figure I'm going to spend mine on properties and playing the game, this and that. That's why I say, like, truly, you probably want multiple mugs, because you're going to want to probably buy properties if you're playing the game, because who plays Monopoly and doesn't buy properties, and the properties generate more Java. So like it's an investment into your investment, and you can take it and sell it whenever you want. But I can tell you, I'm playing the game, and I full disclosure, I kept 10 mugs for running the project, and I had 6 mugs that were swapped over for my last project. We did a full swap for every holder 1-to-1. So and to be real, I gave 5 away to friends. So like I'm still holding 10 mugs, but I had 15 to start.
Nice.
Yeah. So I strongly I said that's my strategy, right? I'm not going to suggest anybody do my strategy, but that's why I say, hey, you might want to grab multiple mugs, because it probably will go up in value.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I didn't mention this earlier when I did that intro for you, but the one thing that you guys need to know about Andrew is Andrew has literally made incredible calls on different NFT projects and, told people, hey, like this has definitely done my due diligence into this project. This is a great project. There's a lot of upside potential. People jumped in, made a lot of money, on a lot of these calls that he did. So if that says anything, about Andrew and about this project, if you needed another reason to come to this side of the world, the Web3 universe, there's that last little piece for you. So
and honestly, that's why you should come to our morning show. I called my short yesterday in real time for Solana. So anybody, sometimes I just do that, right? I have a private group where people pay for access.
Yeah.
And hit me up about that. It's a low cost of monthly entry, but but if when we're live, if I'm making a move, I'll share it. And a lot of people I'm sure traded with me yesterday. And like Brooke said, I called a project on the Solana chain called D-Gods. I called it at $700, and I sold the US dollar value top of 30 grand 2 months later. And what's funny is now they're at like at about 2,000-3,000, and I'm waiting for it to hit like $300, and I'm gonna try to find the one I sold and buy it back,
because I think get it back. Nice. That's amazing. See, I mean, there is so much. If you guys don't already get that, like from all of these episodes, there is so many opportunities. There's so many verticals. There's so many like areas. And I know it can be overwhelming and confusing and it feels loud and noisy and all of that, but it doesn't need to be, because when you really truly understand just overall, like Andrew was saying, 10,000 foot picture of the entire ecosystem, which I am having a tutorial video on that. So just check the YouTube channel for it. If it's not already out, just reach out. I'll make sure you get a copy of it to break down blockchain 101 so you understand how these pieces fit together. So with that said, Andrew, is there anything I missed in asking you that you want to share with listeners before we pull this train into the station?
I think we really covered it, and just come hang out for our show, check out our game. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a way to generate some tokens, and hopefully sell them for money or whatever you want to sell them for, right? Or keep them, run it up forever. And one thing I did leave out in our game, we are doing blue chip giveaways every week, and that's kind of part of our in-game economy. So like week 1. Whoever goes around the board the most amount of times is going to win a DGODS NFT that I was just talking about. They got a floor price of like, probably close to 200 Solana right now. Yeah. So that'll be a big giveaway. And, that's how we're going to tax the whales, because they probably won't own properties, because they'll probably hear about the game late, because whales are generally late. They just come in big and scrape small profits sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
But the whales will, if they can, it's essentially playing the game and doing in-game achievements, or it will be a shot at discount NFTs. You can maybe spend 50 Solana for a chance at a 200 Solana NFT. And it may sound crazy to your average person, but some whales will take that, and they're paying rent while they're going around the board, and they're buying Java tokens. So imagine big corporations being taxed massively, and all of us being rewarded for our data of, where we walk every day, what we do this, and we click this button. And that's essentially what we're doing, and then funneling back to players.
Right. Awesome. Yay. I love what you're doing. I love watching it. I love being a part of the shows when I can. It's fun, even to be a fly on the wall. Like, you guys don't have to get up on stage and talk in those Twitter spaces. You can just be a fly on the wall and learn more stuff. Andrew and his gang are really putting out quite a bit of information every single day. And you guys, honestly, like, it's so valuable. So with that said, thank you so much for being here, Andrew. As we pull this ride into the station, make sure to exit on the right, and we will see you on the next one.
Peace out.
You made it. Congratulations. That wasn't so bad, was it? I hope you laughed and learned a little bit more about this Web3 universe and how simple and fun it can really be. Would you be so kind as to leave us a review and share it with your friends and family? It would mean so much to get this out to more people as we embark on the greatest transfer of wealth that has ever happened in human history. Can't wait to see you on the next one.